I mean, I personally love remote work. I never want to go back into the office. I can start my day whenever I want to start my day, and I can end my day whenever I want to end my day. And I get a
Right.
lot more done. I don't have the noise. For people that are, in a position where they're distracted all the time, I think you get way more done at work.
When you are a fresh candidate, you do have command to do those analytical questions, but after some time, when you are working in certain niche, then you do not have that much command on the analytical skills. You have more domain knowledge, but you do not have those skills fresh, and you can't work.
In cybersecurity, there's a lot of people out there looking for their first opportunity in cybersecurity. So it's a very hard field to break into. Most of the job descriptions will say they're looking for entry level, but then their entry level will need 2 to 3 years experience. So it's very, very, very frustrating for those coming out of school. It's a rather new field. It's a new major in many colleges, probably less than 10 years.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ali. I'm the CEO of Al-Burraq Technologies. Today, we are with another tech star, but she is in the recruiting. Hello, Colleen Lennox.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. It would be great if you can introduce yourself so that our audience can connect with you.
My name is Colleen Lennox, and I'm the owner of CyberJob Central. I have been a recruiter in the technology field for a very long time, and for the past 7 years, exclusively within cybersecurity.
Give us a little bit more summary about your career as well, and what your path has been, so that we can go a little bit deeper and ask you questions related to that.
I started recruiting right out of college and always in the IT space. So
Right.
I so that's many years even before we were using technology. So it was a very long time ago, and I've always loved recruiting. When I fell into it, I thought this is a great field. I loved helping people find jobs, find opportunities. I love helping my clients staff their teams. So I've been doing it. I started another company in early 2000s, another staffing company, and I sold it in 2014. So after I sold the company, that was more based on like project management, BA, ERP type of work. I sold the company, and I was just doing business development for them for a while, and I fell into cybersecurity. So about 2017, I went out on my own again, just doing cybersecurity staffing, more staff all. So, and then I realized there was this disconnect in the cybersecurity space. Most recruiters search by buzzwords because that's how we're trained to search for find people through buzzwords and being creative with our searches. Unfortunately, in cybersecurity, many words mean the same thing, or they apply to many different jobs. So you really have to have an understanding of cybersecurity when recruiting in cybersecurity. So I think it's hard for most people to recruit in that space unless they're aware or have a knowledge. Like I've recruited developers most of my life, and it's easy to look for a job. And not easy, but you can find a Java developer putting in Java developer. So, but for within cybersecurity, SOC 1, SOC 2, they all mean different things. So you need to understand the skill set in order to recruit for it. So I wanted to start a job board that was exclusive to cybersecurity professionals so that it wasn't so complicated, so we could narrow it down. This is the niche I'm in, this is what I do, so make it very, very, very easy for recruiters and hiring managers to find the right talent. So that's where we are right now. I still do help with staffing with a lot of my clients, but mostly, my goal is to get this job board up off the ground so that there's a one-stop shop for people looking for either to break into cybersecurity or those
Yeah,
looking for new cybersecurity roles.
that makes a lot of sense. But when you say that you love doing staffing in IT, so I would like to ask, people getting jobs, or you love people getting hired in IT? So what is your love?
I think I love getting to know people, work with them,
Right.
um,
Right.
and I feel like you can really change people's lives in recruiting. That you get to know them through the whole process. You get to know about their
Hmm.
family, their circumstances. Some people are out of work, down on their luck,
Hmm.
need to
Hmm. Hmm.
find need just looking for a new opportunity, and some people are just looking to expand their careers. So, and I love finding the right person, not just the skill set, but the person that's going to fit in to my client and what my client likes as an employee.
Right. But why tech or why IT only? It should be all around, right? You developed a niche that is
Yeah.
cybersecurity or tech,
Hmm.
right? But why IT? That is what I'm trying to ask.
What I think I know I love IT. Obviously, that's how I started. I started in engineering, so I just
Hmm.
sort of
Hmm.
I love that field. Obviously, it's a very busy field. It's always
Right.
changing, always new
Hmm.
technology. So it's always challenging. And I like to stay in a niche focus because you
Hmm.
want to build a network. You want to build people that you can lean into when you're looking for jobs.
That makes a lot of sense that you have to focus on something and you have to develop your niche if you want to be successful. And I think that it was a great idea to start the job board as well. Let's talk about that, how that works. Let us know that how that process works and what are the benefits of using that job board.
So you can companies can come in and just post their job, and we narrowed it down to skills, expertise, like to make it very, very easy to search both candidates and clients to search for people. And then we also partnered with an AI company in which we can go in. So in cybersecurity, there's a lot of people out there looking for their first opportunity in cybersecurity. So it's a very hard field to break into. Most of the job descriptions will say they're looking for entry level, but then their entry level will need 2 to 3 years experience. So it's very, very, very frustrating for those coming out of school. It's a rather new field. It's a new major in many colleges, probably less than 10 years. So they don't have the bandwidth to help these people get jobs. So a lot of people are frustrated trying to break into cybersecurity to land their first opportunity. But a lot of these people are super technical. So we partner with an AI company in which when people are applying for a job, they can actually take a technical pre-screen if they're applying for a job, they get a pre-screen through the AI tool, and it's an actual like avatar asking them questions. So if they don't pass the pre-screening, they go they get a report back as to why, where they need to improve. So, obviously, people that are familiar with looking for a job, they know when they apply to something online, they either get no response or immediately get a rejection letter, and they never know why. But this will go through like, hey, you didn't answer this properly. You should work on this before you reapply. Touch up on your skills in this area. So it's doing the applicant a service, and also it's helping the recruiter internal at the company to just be handed the pre-qualified candidates. So these people have passed your screening. They come up with the questions. These people have passed your screening. Now, instead of sifting through 600 resumes of people that applied to your job, you then have only those that passed. I mean, it may be as few as 10 to 12, but for a recruiter, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think because you are pre-screening through AI, it saves a lot of time as well for the
Hmm.
recruiters and the people they are filtering. Of course, they are the ones who have passed that screening test.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And
And
in
then they can
that, I yeah, please go ahead.
so when the applicants get to the recruiter,
Hmm.
they can do the job. They can go into work. So we're going to ask them questions like, are you okay with hybrid? Are you okay with remote? Whatever the client's hiring needs are, we're going to ask those questions. If it's, might pass, they might fail, not get through to the interviewer or the HR hiring manager because they said they only want to work remote. Well, that's not an option. So why do people? But I think nowadays people just mass apply, the easy apply to everything. So your inbox is just full of people that aren't even
Right.
right for your job, and you just humanly can't go through all those
That
resumes.
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about that ML tool as well, because I want to give one perspective here that we have seen a lot of platforms like Code Signal, like many others, who were evaluating the candidates in a way they were providing some uh, analytical questions or something like these, and they were finalizing the candidates in that format. And I did have very strong reservations on that, because when you are a fresh candidate, you do have the expertise of doing those analytical skills. right? I'm talking about the programmers especially.
Right.
So when you are a fresh candidate, you do have command to do those analytical questions. But after some time, when you are working in certain niche, then you do not have that much command on the analytical skills. You have more domain knowledge, but you do not have those skills fresh, and you can't work efficiently on those analytical skills. But those platforms, hacker rank, code signals, they were selling this thing that we are providing you pre-screening through these analytical questions. And I had that great reservations on these platforms, that these platforms are providing the wrong, I would say, evaluations, because they are evaluating an experienced resource uh, in an ill mannered. And I do second the tool you have developed in ML, which is a pre screening tool again, but that is asking the domain questions. That is kind of a mock up uh, technical interview. So I second
Mhm.
that thing.
Yeah, it's and each job description. So every time so if a client posts a job description,
Hmm.
they will be asked the questions that they want the candidates to be pre-screened
Yeah.
with.
Hmm.
So, if it is entry level, they are more analytical, entry level,
That
knowledge
makes
based
sense.
questions.
That makes
Yeah,
sense. That for the entry
yeah.
level, you're asking analytical questions. For the experience level, you're asking domain questions. So that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I think it also gives people that are entry level
Hmm.
the ability to showcase, their resume isn't going to do it for them. They don't have enough buzzwords on to get through an applicant tracking system. But if they
Hmm.
can attach their screening and their results of their screening onto their resume as another page, it's going to help them get through the applicant tracking system for those that
Hmm.
aren't using Cyber Job
So
Central.
tell me one more thing. Are these questions predefined by the customer, or these are general questions by the AI?
No, the customer comes up with the questions.
Right, right. I think we can make it a little better as well, in a way that we can define the domain knowledge. We can train the domain knowledge, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and let me put it in another way. What we can do is we can train our machine learning model in a way that it has all the domain knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the customer is going to post a job, he will not have to predefine the questions, right? If he wants, he can add few questions according
Right.
to their choice, right? Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, machine learning model is going to decide what kind of job it is. Is it a
Right.
fresh job? Is it an experienced job? Is it an intermediate level job? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that model is going to ask different level questions, and that is going to be completely random, right?
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that can be something you should add in your platform, and it will make much more convenience in it. That people will come and people will get screened automatically. And in this way, what you can do is, even if the job is not posted, you can pre-screen people. You can pre-screen
Right.
people. You can add them in your bucket and mark them. Okay, this is a intermediate level, this is an experienced resource, this is an entry level resource, and in
Right.
that you can develop your pool.
Yeah. And a pipeline.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
the next thing you should target should be this one. What do you say?
Yeah, that's what we're already talking about that in
Hmm.
having people. So if someone's looking for a job, they can come in and they can say, "I am a privacy expert," so they can
Hmm.
pre-screen or for intermediate,
Hmm.
um, entry level, or senior level privacy
Right.
job, and then basically then they'll get their results and they can attach it, and then they'll be graded as to where they fit in, and they're asking questions like, well, what kind of work life balance do you want, what kind of salary do you want, so things that aren't just technical, but also the intangibles, the soft skills that are important to each client.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think this platform is going to be the center point of finding jobs on cybersecurity for sure.
From your mouth to God's ears, right? that's
Okay,
that's the plan.
let's move
The hook.
forward. Yeah, please, you were saying something.
I said that's the plan. I as a recruiter, I've been a recruiter for a long time, and if you've ever done any recruiting or obviously hired people on your own, you know it's
I
daunting
know,
going
I
through your
know.
space.
It's been
But
10
it's
years
still
I'm in the business and I've done
yeah,
each and every operation myself.
but it's still a human experience. So good. I mean, you can use technology to take you so far, but you still have to get. It's still a human hiring a human.
Yeah, I think what I see in the future is that initial processes like
Hmm.
HR process, these initial technical evaluations, right? These all
Hmm.
processes will be automated by AI, and AI
Yep.
avatar is going to take over all of these things. The final interviews, they will remain same, and
Yep.
those will be conducted by the higher officials and etc, because
Yep.
that is going to be the deciding factor, and that is going to be in the end of humans for now. Maybe in
Yes.
future we can't say anything, right? But for now I think the initial processes will be automated completely, and it will
Right.
happen in all the fields. Let it be
Yep.
cybersecurity, let it be programming, let it be in any other field. They will be automated, but the final touch will be from the human side. That
Yeah.
is the evaluation today. I am not
Yep.
taking responsibility what happens tomorrow.
Right.
Because things are moving so fast in AI.
Exactly, exactly. And it's funny because I mean, so many people that I've talked to, recruiters always think it's going to take away their job. I think it's going
Hmm.
to make their job easier and make them look better because so many, you're kind of evaluated on how many jobs you fill.
Let's talk about remote work. How much you have experienced it, considering your job board, right? And considering staffing as well.
Well, I think it's, I mean, honestly, and you probably see this as
Yes,
well.
that is the
It's
most
going,
important thing. That is the
yeah.
most important thing. An honest answer for remote work.
Yeah, and it's going away. As quickly as it
Hmm.
came on with the pandemic. I feel like 2024, more and more companies, it's just mandatory. They come in at least 3 days a week. And I know a lot of
Yeah.
technology people don't know why they have to go into the office because they sort of work in their own little bubble anyway. I don't.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why companies. I know they obviously have real estate they're paying for, and I'm sure there's tax reasons, but I feel like it's going to go, it's not going to be like it was.
Hmm. What are the
Sadly.
pros and cons?
Mhm.
What are the
Excuse
pros
me.
and cons of remote work?
I mean, I personally love remote work. I never want to go
Yeah.
back into the office. I can start my day whenever I want to start my day, and I can end my day whenever I want to end my day. And I get a
Right.
lot more done. I don't have the noise. For people that are, in a position where they're distracted all the time, I think you get way more done at work. There is a social element to it that is definitely, I think helpful for people just starting out in their careers, like those getting, coming out of college, building your professional network. So going into the office is a good thing. But as you get
Hmm.
older and you have more responsibilities and, having that flexibility between working all day and then picking your kids up from school, I think it's awesome.
Right. With that, because you added social aspect in it, right? And social aspect is very important factor. And especially,
Hmm.
you pointed out very clearly that the people who are just coming out of the schools, and if they are remote, of course, they are not going to able to build their network, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you see the problems in the team building things as well.
I think so. I mean, I think it's a healthy part of working to be
Hmm.
involved. To be siloed all the time is, it does get lonely. For all
Right.
those people that work at home, I think everybody feels a little like, ooh, I have to get out of here. So I think like hybrid is the best of both worlds.
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
recruiting, when it was 100% remote, you had availability of more talent. So you could hire somebody to work in Philadelphia that lives in Texas without a a thought as long as they were willing to work the time zone. But now sadly, I feel like that's going away also.
That makes a lot of sense. And before we wind up, I would like you to give some advice to the new people who are coming into this staffing, right? And the new companies as well.
I think, first of all, I've loved staffing, and I know many people that started their career in the staffing world. Some people hate it and would never do it again. But I feel like it's a great job. It's there you meet so many great people. You have to work hard. But you have the ability to change people's lives, and that's what I love about it.
Thank you so much, Colin. And it was great talking to you. And I hope the people watching the episode are going to learn a lot from this. And for the people, thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe us so that we can keep bringing more tech stars.